Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Sprint 281 review. This was a normal 2-week sprint. Let's get started. I'll start with the overview, Gilbert on the UI, Adam on providers, and Joe on the platform. We had 73 PRs merged this sprint. And on the closed PR side, pretty even split between enhancements and bugs. I figured out what's wrong with the charts. We haven't been including certain categories under the other. So I'm going to try to work on fixing that, and it's going to adjust this a little bit. So the others should go up, is what I expect. And over to Gilbert on the UI.
Thanks, Jason. So for the UI, I had a PR to fix one of our failing specs that was due to a change in one of our providers. Osavad had his migration to Carbon 11 PR merge. So for other, I had a couple PRs to get rid of some old technical debt, and then me and Osavad had a couple minor dependency update PRs. Next slide. For UI service, again, we had some minor dependency updates, as well as an important one was for the brace expansion version upgrade. That's it for UI. Next is Adam.
Thanks, Gilbert. For core of this sprint, we added the Proxmox provider to the gem files. That'll be included in any of the builds going forward for anyone who wants to use that. We also fixed an Ansible Tower provider factory URL, which we'll see why later, but essentially the core had the Tower factory spec, and so we had to change the URL format for that one for tests. For Amazon, we updated, they had a bunch of instance types this time, so we got up to date with those. For AWX and Ansible Tower, these providers take a URL for their endpoint definitions, and we weren't validating the URL format. So it was possible that the URL would be saved without a scheme, and we were doing some weird things to build a proper URI out of that. So we changed that up to, as part of the DDF forms, validate the URL format with regular expression. And in Schema, we added Scheme to all of the existing provider endpoints. Next slide. From Nutanix, we fixed a bug if a VM is missing a disks or NICs collection. There are some cases where this was nil, not an empty array, and so we handle that case now. For Proxmox, we added a missing refresh worker class. So the refresh had been implemented, but there was no worker, so it wouldn't run with the full server running. We also added some additional VM details. We're parsing the host CPU and memory, added a simple targeted refresh, and fixed a bug where we don't reconnect archived VMs since Proxmox reuses IDs. So if you delete a VM and then provision another one, it would get the same ID as one that we had archived, which we don't want to do. So that's it for Proxmox. And then VMware, we have a community user who's trying to help us fix a bug with some vSphere 8 provisioning errors with some specific NIC settings. And he was trying to update some of the provision methods here, and they were duplicated. So I refactored that to get them to handle both regular networks as well as distributed virtual switch and NSXT networks all in the same method since they were like 80% the same. And that made his bug fixes a little simpler, which we're still reviewing, but hopefully that'll be fixed in the next sprint. That's it for providers. Over to Jim.
Thanks, Adam. For platform enhancements this sprint, Brandon automated doing multiple architecture RPM builds as part of GitHub Actions. Jason added the latest Ruby and Rail versions to more core extensions and dropped the old versions. Brandon updated Go to 1.26.0 and Codified. And Jason added skipping of fail fast to enable easier debugging of RPM builds. Next slide. For bugs and maintenance this sprint, Brandon worked around a permissions issue in mock when doing the S390X builds in RPM build. Brandon fixed some RPM build dependency build issues. Jason fixed the syntax issue in the build dependencies GitHub action. Adam previously mentioned the database fix for setting the scheme properly in the URL. Adam also bumped the minimum version of Faraday to 2.14.1. Jason dropped Rails 7.2 support in Schema repo now that we're on Rails 8. And Brandon dropped unused references to DigitalOcean. Next slide.
And that's all for our Sprint 281 review. The next Sprint review 282 will be on March 4th at the usual place and time. And I'd like to thank all our presenters today, our contributors in the community, and all those that are contributing to discussions as well. Thanks, everyone.